Welcome back to Close Up. So with Maggie Hassan challenging our first guest this morning, Kelly Ayotte, for her seat in the U.S. Senate, a lot of people eyeballing the open seat in Concord that she's leaving behind. But Executive Councilor Chris Sununu was by far the first to announce his intentions last September, but certainly not the last, as there appears to be at least 4 Republican candidates who will engage in a primary setting. Chris Sununu, our next guest this morning. Good to see you.
Thank you, Josh. Good to see you.
So what do you make about this growing field? Ted Gatsas, Jeannie Forster look like she's getting in as state senator, Frank Edelblut?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Good primaries are good things. They're all my friends. I know a primary with these folks will be a very positive experience. It allows us to get out, talk about the issues, have some debates, and I always say as many people want to get in the race, the more the merrier.
Sure, and there's a lot of issues to talk about, but let's talk about the race. And hijinks by the Democratic Party this week put a campaign sign out there with Donald Trump and Sununu underneath it. It made you chuckle a little bit, but it kind of points to the idea that, you know what, Donald Trump might be a liability on this ticket. What's your take of that?
Well, look, I didn't endorse anyone for president this time around. You know, I'm really out there running my race about, you know, what we're trying to bring to the state, our issues. You know, we don't even know who the presidential nominee is really going to be. And if anything, the Democrats know that I'm the Republican that is going to win in November. They're putting all their targets and eggs in that basket to hit me as best they can on silly things like that. So we're just out running our race. We've gotten a lot of momentum, a lot of positivity behind us. It's why we got in early. Great endorsements. We're out there doing what we need to do to win, and the Democrats know that.
I know, and as much as you'd like to run a race in a vacuum, Democrats are going to try to tie all the candidates on the ticket, you, Kelly Ayotte, whoever's up there, to Donald Trump. Will you support Donald Trump, though, if he is the Republican nominee?
Well, I've always said that any of the Republicans who stood on those debate stages would make a far better president than Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders. So, again, we have a ways to go to see where we go on that, but I stand by that. I think any of those potential candidates would make far better president, and I think most of America agrees.
Let's talk about some of the issues that this week in Executive Council voted for a contract, which was related to Common Core and funding for the assessment that goes along with meeting the federal standard. You had to swallow hard a bit to do that.
Absolutely. You know, one of the key issues I talk about is education. It's an issue that's near and dear to my heart. We simply don't have the education system we used to in this state. I have a 4th and a 5th grader, so I live it every day on the front lines. And so I see Common Core and these Smarter Balanced tests, what they mean. We have kids practicing week after week for tests. They are not built around our curriculum. And I want to make that change. Now, this week we saw an epic failure by the governor and her administration, bringing us a contract 8 or 9 months late, so that we really had no options. It was a retroactive contract. If we had said no to the Smarter Balanced testing, as this contract wanted, we would have forfeited $250 million to our teachers and our schools and our classrooms. The governor put all that money at risk. I would never do that. Never do that to our schools. I think we need to empower teachers. I want standardized tests built by our teachers, based on curriculum in our classrooms for New Hampshire. Not just catering to the whims of Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is pulling the strings on education in this state, and it has to stop.
Yeah, quickly, I want to move on right after this, but I want to ask you, is it possible, though, to come up with a homegrown assessment package or standard or philosophy to meet a federal standard that's under Common Core?
No, absolutely, and other states are doing it. Massachusetts and New York, a variety of states are doing it. It takes a little time, but again, you know, I want New Hampshire teachers and based on New Hampshire curriculum designing our test for those standards. And whether we keep Common Core standards or come up with some other set of standards, I don't mind standardized testing, but this whole practicing for the test, all this pressure that we put on the test for our children, it is not beneficial in the classroom. It severely detracts from the core education that we need to be focusing on. If you don't get education right in the state, it's hard to hit the mark with everything else. It's something I'm very passionate about, and we've been speaking about on the trail ever since day one.
Another potential impact on our kids, obviously, #1 issue facing the state and a lot of people's minds, and that's the heroin and opioid crisis here. What approach would you take that might be different than what we've seen so far?
So I have visited recovery centers all over the state. I've visited treatment centers all over the state over the past 6 months. That's the other reason you got to get into this race early, because you got to travel the state and understand the pushes and pulls, not just in certain areas, but really all across. What I think the biggest problem we have, and the state Senate has done a very good job of moving the dial a little bit. The governor has been an epic failure on this crisis. We have a governor that didn't realize we had $12 million in a grant that was sitting on our front door. We have a governor that refused to move out a drug czar that, again, was just an epic failure. People called for his resignation across the board. We saw a new drug czar come in this week, who I'm very hopeful for. We'll see what happens. What we really need to do is engage the private sector, employers, employees, individuals, because what we need is a culture change. We need a culture change from within in this state. Supply is going to be there, and Operation Granite Hammer is a great project. The law enforcement community is finally being empowered to get out there and be able to do what they need to do. But as some of these kids have told me in these recovery centers, if we want heroin, we're going to find it. What we need to do is get aggressive with our prevention programs, aggressive with workplace initiative programs, peer-to-peer recovery programs, and coordinate our resources. A lot of that is taking private resources and putting them in the right direction. That, I think, is where we need to focus our efforts. If you're waiting for the solution to come out of Concord, don't hold your breath, because we haven't seen any real long-term solutions come out of Concord yet. Until we get a change in the governor's office, which I expect to bring there, we need to really take hold of this as individuals.
Yeah, let me ask you about Narcan and the increased availability of it. There's talk of putting it in schools. It's over the counter now for a lot of drugstores, but some do believe that it might be counterintuitive or counterproductive when it comes to this by having an antidote when we're trying to tell kids, you know what, this is a deadly drug. I mean, do you agree with
well, you always need an antidote. I mean, over the past 2 years, we've seen over 1,000 people die, and the numbers are actually probably higher than that.
Can't imagine what it would be without Narcan.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly, and people's lives are at risk. That's why this issue is so critical. People are dying. For all those folks who have died, that's 1,000 families that have been torn apart, and then tens of thousands more that have drained their bank accounts and their 401ks trying to get recovery and treatment for their loved ones. This isn't just, this is lives on the line. I believe this has probably affected our economy to the tune of 15 to 20%. They estimate 10% of the workforce is affected by this, and it isn't just kids. I've talked to retirees, I've talked to moms and dads, young folks, all over the economic spectrum. This affects everybody, and it has to be our top priority.
Yeah, time's flying by, but I want to ask you about, I mean, you talked a lot about the economy. Say here in New Hampshire, you know, the economic climate is anemic. Yeah, we have unemployment numbers, which are better than most states here in the country. So some might ask, you know, what can we do to augment?
Look, when employers are pushing all their employees down to 29 hours a week because of the overburdens and financial costs of Obamacare, yeah, that's what's going to happen. We are seeing a decrease in our workforce. We haven't brought a major business into the state in over 8 years. Why is that?
Right to work part of the solution?
Right to work is part of it. When you have a governor out there that says business taxes don't really matter except to large out-of-state corporations, you know, and then we saw what happened a month ago. GE could have moved their national headquarters to New Hampshire, potentially. Why would an out-of-state corporation ever come to a state who has that kind of philosophy? We need a complete change in Concord, an absolute change. We need to turn the dial. It starts with business taxes. It starts with opening the doors with right to work. There's a whole bunch of initiatives, but most importantly, you need someone in the governor's office that has business experience, that understands the pushes and pulls, the variables that business leaders look at. We need a long-term energy plan to retain our manufacturing sector here. Manufacturing is still the lifeblood of New Hampshire, and we are losing those jobs left and right.
Very quickly, we're just about out of time. I want to get your take on the sale of Rockingham Park and the expanded gambling debate. Is it over as far as you're concerned?
No, I don't think it is, actually. I mean, you know, at some point the owners have to move on, and you know, they have a property that they want to capitalize on. You can't blame them for that.
Sure.
I think this debate will always be around, frankly. Where it goes and what gets done or doesn't get done, that still remains to be seen. But no, I don't think the debate is over. Rockingham was a keystone of that, and still could be in the future. You never know.
And you're open to the idea?
Absolutely.
Okay, it's part of the component. Well, a long way to go, but time is flying. Good to see you.
Great to see you.
Best of luck moving forward. Be right back with John DeStacio. Stay with us.